but he chose to depend. He chose to listen. He chose to be silent and wait. And this completely changes our understanding of prayer. Because if God incarnate himself prayed, how much more should we pray? Yet even with all of this, Jesus' prayer had not yet reached its most acute expression. There is still a moment when the soul that never sinned will feel the weight of all sin, a moment when heaven will seem absent, and pain will become unbearable. And in that moment, prayer will not cease. On the contrary, it will intensify to the point of tears and blood, because there in the garden, the Son who had always trusted would show that even in the deepest anguish, the heart that loves continues to pray. Prayer as eternal.
This is the most basic point of everything that we're trying to do. Every one of you had the fortune, and you probably had a lot of struggles, twists and turns, good luck, parents that help, friends that help, family that help somehow that you could get an education. But I think that's the first thing we really need to do, is to put our foot down and say, no more faking it to the host countries, but they don't have the money, the IMF, to the World Bank, to China, to anyone else. You gotta help make sure that all the kids are in school, period. And then there are all the other issues that we're dealing with. I won't belabor the point any longer because I know the time is short. Let me spend just a few minutes talking about the situation in the world right now, because the last couple of days have been dramatic. Now, there is no guarantee that we avoid catastrophe because the world's not well led, and the world is in a very unstable situation because of all the things that we've been discussing. Of course, the climate crisis, all of the upheavals in the world economy, even aside from the interventions of leaders choosing wrong things. Just the technological upheavals are astounding. You know that better than I. So this is something quite dramatic. But another thing that's very dramatic is the geopolitical changes that are underway. They are remarkable. They're very dangerous, but on the whole, not bad actually. What's happening is that a familiar world led so-called by the United States and Europe is no longer led by the United States and Europe. It was presumptuous to be led by the United States and Europe to begin with. It's actually the end of a very long cycle that dates back to 1492 and onward, because it started with a voyage that was a little bit went awry and changed the world fundamentally. And they say that, how do you know that Christopher Columbus was an economist, by the way? He didn't know where he was going. He didn't know where he was when he got there, and it was all on a government grant. So this is par for the course. But the world became a European-led world with a lot of cruelty and a lot of inequality and a lot of domination, and with a lot of remarkable technological development that came along with it, but that was utilized as a form of power and oppression as well. And the United States dominated the world for about a half a century after 1945. Now we're in a very different world, and the voices of other parts of the world are really